Masquera say Zimbabwe, welcome to our channel Zoom Confessions and Deep Secrets. Kana kariki kutanka kukuya paneno channel, please don't forget to subscribe. Kana uchingogara subscribe, but don't forget to comment and share this video. Nasimane Zimbabwe tapigirai nyaya yakabuda muchitiko chakaitika mukoti nezuro apo ma defense lawyers akabuda achinetsana nemajaji the High Court nemusi Wednesday apo the corruption trial ya business partners Mike Chimombe and Moses Mpofu yaitika. Varume vaviri ava vari kupumba mhosva yekuforja mapapers kuti vaonekwa vachihwina the 7 million tender yekusupply mbudzi to the Minister of Lands and Agriculture, and ivo vari kudhinaya macharges hazvina kupera mushe. Pane nyaya yakabuditswa neZim Live vachitaura vachiti defense lawyers traded barbs with a judge at the High Court at the High Court on Wednesday as the corruption trial of business partners Mike Chimombe and Moses Mpofu got underway. The two businessmen are accused of forging papers to win a 7 million tender to supply goods to the Minister of Lands and Agriculture. They deny the charges. Justice Pisirai Kwenda appeared keen to move proceedings along as the trial got underway, but defense lawyers immediately raised objections about the composition of the court over the advanced ages of the two assessors, Tapson Jetero for Mr. Mpofu and the pair of Professor Labo Maduku and Norman Mugia for Chimombe, also said there were constitutional issues arising from the duo's arrest, which required ventilation at the Constitutional Court before the trial commenced. Justice Kwenda said the issues about the composition of the court and infringement of the rights at the time of arrest should have been included in the defense outlines prior to the trial. You don't just take the court by surprise, Kwenda quipped. Witness Mabaudi for the National Prosecuting Authority said the prosecution should have been given notice of the new defense outline. There is no indication of when they got to know about those constitutional issues, he said. Zetero said in response, upon learning that one of the initial assessors had been replaced, we realized there was need to raise our concerns. Justice Kwenda said the court cannot strain from the lawful procedure and the case should flow as expected at law. The judge ordered Zetero to read his client's defense outline. The first accused, Mpofu, would object to the reading of his defense outline as it is because I would need to amend it, as it does not outline his entire defense due to the matter that is arisen, said Zetero. You should not vent your frustration on me, said the judge. It is my first time I have seen an officer of the court objecting to court's instructions. We don't want to hear anything other than his defense. If you continue disrupting proceedings, we might take corrective procedures. I am in charge of these proceedings. The defense outline is already before us, and the law says whatever is on paper should be read so that the electronics can capture it. I don't know why you are inhibiting progress. Justice Kwenda objected when Zetero asked to consult Mpofu, prompting the lawyer to begin reading their defense outline as amended. The first accused person pleads not guilty to the charge, the lawyer said. Mpofu will challenge the legality, regularities, and constitutionality of his detention, continued detention, and prosecution. He will also challenge the constitutional validity of certain provisions of the Criminal Procedure and Evidence Act, and the permanent stay of this prosecution is also being sought, said Zetero. Some of the issues the lawyer said the Constitutional Court should examine is whether the decision to hold Mpofu and Chimombe without bail after they voluntarily attended court amounts to a violation of the rights of accused persons and their right to be heard before any adverse decision is made. They also want the Apex Court to determine if the refusal by the High Court to hear their bail appeal on the basis that the appeal was moot amounts to a violation of the rights to equal protection and benefit of the law. Turning to Mpofu's substantive defense, The lawyer said the issue was a civil matter following the contractual disagreement between his company Black Deck Private Limited and the Ministry of Lands and Agriculture. He denies ever making any representations to the Ministry of Lands in any tender documents. Personally, he never presented any bidding documents to the ministry. He did not commit any fraud as alleged. The state is put to the strictest proof, Zwetero said. Mpofu will state that while he is a director of Black Deck, he is not solely in control of the company alone. Rather, there are other directors and shareholders who make decisions collectively in the interest of the company. The prosecution case rests on tender documents submitted to the ministry for the winning bid, which carried forged Zimra and NASA certificates. Mpofu was never the custodian of the alleged forged documents, his lawyer said. He did not participate in the compiling and submission of the bidding documents, said Zwetero. Mpofu will further argue that, to his knowledge, Black Deck Private Limited did not misrepresent that it had capacity to supply 6,320,011 goats because it has the capacity, notwithstanding the cancellation of the contract. The unlawful and improper cancellation of the contract by the Minister of Lands shows that this matter is a contractual dispute. He will state that the state has not yet exhausted all remedies available to its terms of contract. The Ministry of Lands has not even pursued the recovery of any money from the guarantor, since there is no guarantee. Resorting to criminal procedures against Mpofu is wrong, misplaced and unfounded, the lawyer said. There is a third end of interested parties who are prosecuting him for ulterior motives. Mpofu's lawyers argues that the Zimbabwe Anti-Corruption Commission reacted to social media posts and acted upon them when there was no complaint from the ministry. Professor Madugu said Chimombe had similar constitutional issues to raise as Mpofu. The view of the second accused is that he is not before the High Court sitting as a criminal court, although we have pleaded. This, in our view, is a serious breach of law. We cannot go into trial before a thing which is not a court. We certainly wish to challenge the composition of the bench, Professor Maduku said. We will only plea so that we can start, but we take the view that in terms of the Constitution, the position is that the mandatory age of the judge should be 70. If it applies to judge, it surely applies to assessors who are above 70. There was also a change which was announced in the morning, that the assessor who was sitting yesterday is not the one who is sitting today. This is an important criminal trial. It should start correctly. Mugia said Chimombe, who is not a Black Deck director, has no knowledge how the company drafted documents for the tender and how the agreement was made. He never received any money from Black Deck from what was part of the proceeds paid by the ministry, Mugia said. Chimombe, according to the lawyer, only got involved in the matter as a member of a pressure group, economic empowerment group, after a dispute had risen between Black Deck and the ministry. The meeting was way after the alleged offense had been committed, and he was simply trying in that capacity for the two parties to find each other, Mugia said. The accused will further bring it to the attention of the court that he is a director and a shareholder of Militech Enterprises, and the company responded to the invitation for bids and competed in the bidding processes but lost. He therefore could never have advanced in the interest of a competitor by helping Black Deck Private Limited in preparation for its bid or to negotiate for contract. The meeting was way after the alleged offense had been committed, and he was simply trying in that capacity for the two parties to find each other, Mugia said. The accused will further bring it to the attention of the court that he is a director and a shareholder of Militech Enterprises Private Limited, and the company responded to the invitation for bids and competed in the bidding processes but lost. He therefore could never have been advanced the interests of the competitor by helping Black Deck Private Limited in preparation of its bids or to negotiate for the contract. It was only after Blackdeck won the tender that it employed Militech Enterprises, among other companies, to supply it with goods which it really had. This arrangement had nothing to do with the contract between Blackdeck Private Limited and the Minister of Lands, Mugia said. Chimombe's lawyers say they are also contesting the decision by the prosecution to withdraw consent for bail under pressure from the ZAC. There has been some interference from some forces, some very powerful, the lawyer said. The two men say their legal trouble began when audios circulated online which appeared to suggest that ex-convict businessman Wikno Chivayo had bribed senior government officials to win election-related tenders worth over 100 million. They say Chivayo and his powerful supporters, believing Mpofu and Chimombe leaked the audios, caused their arrest and subsequent denial of bail expungement. The trial continues. Zvakaitika chitaurwa ne ZimLive muri Zimbabwe kutaura kwatiri kuita Mike Chimombe and Moses Mpofu vari mujeri vakavharirwa mukati muri Zimbabwe. Tingazive kuti machimbobuda here apa kana kuti tiudze zvamunofunga pamusoro penyaya iyi mu comment section.